Hey, what's up, guys? So the final first quarter top 10, I'm going to do that right now. We are going to finish up all the top 12 divisions in boxing, and this is still the reigning number one division in boxing. It is the 147-pound welterweight division. It has ruled boxing for a couple years now. So much talent, so many good fighters, and it's very deep. So let's get into what's going on there. We still got a top 15. Now I want to start with anybody that's dropped out. The first of which is former two-division champion Lamont Peterson. He came in ranked 12th. March 24th, he took on Sergey Lipinets. He fought hard. It was a fight that he was winning, but Lipinets kept pressing, and I saw early on that Peterson could land punches, but that Lipinets was just going to keep coming forward. He did that, and in the 10th round, he started to hurt him late in the fight, and then in the 10th round, he finished Peterson off. So Peterson goes down with a knockout, but he said right then and there that was it, that he's done at his age. I applaud Peterson, had a great career. A shame to see him leaving the sport, but you know what? When you're done, you're done, and he knows it. And, he fought his ass off in that fight at home. That's a good way for a champion to go out on a shield. So, great job. Lamont Peterson retiring. He's out of it. And also dropping out is former two-time welterweight champion Andre Berto. Berto was 15th coming in. Just other guys moving in that have done more. That is why Berto dropped out. So that's pretty much why he's out of it. Haven't heard anything on what he's going to do next. So now, top 15. We got a two-way tie for 15th now. First of which is former 154-pound champion Saddam Ali, who drops one spot from 14th. Ali is going to be returning May 4th against some unknown fighter named Anthony Young. This is going to be on the Canelo Jacobs DAZN undercard. So I think he's just going to get another win here at welterweight, continue to try to slowly build up, because there's not a lot of options for Golden Boy fighters in this weight class. So, hopefully he gets an opportunity against something else, though, after. But I'm going to say late stoppage to a convincing decision win, and he'll keep pushing forward. Tied with him for 15th now, dropping 2 spots from 13th, is contender Jamal James. His highest ranking is still number 3 by the WBA. He came back February 23rd, took on an unknown opponent, scored a 6-round TKO. Now, we really don't know when he's going to get an opportunity or an eliminator. He's been banging around for a while. I'm hoping he gets a crack against somebody, but nobody's been willing to fight him. But he does fight for the PBC. I'm sure somebody, Al Heyman, might be able to get him an opportunity. Maybe Ugas, coming off the loss, would be willing to face him again, because that's James's only career defeat was against Ugas. So maybe they'll both roll the dice on that when they go at it. We'll see what happens. Coming in 14th, dropping 3 spots for number 11, is former world title challenger Thomas Dulorme. Dulorme, haven't really heard much about him since his draw last year with Jesse Vargas. So just waiting to hear when he might come back. I did hear a small rumor it was going to be during the summer. Could be at 154 pounds, but other than that, I haven't heard anything. Hopefully I hear something else soon. Next at number 13, dropping 4 spots from number 9, is former 4-division world champion Adrian Broner. He returned January 19th to challenge Manny Pacquiao for the WBA regular welterweight title, and he seriously just got his ass whipped. Early on, it looked like he was trying to land one big punch at a time. He was, trying to do something, but Pacquiao just shut down whatever he was trying to do. And I think after first 4 or 5 rounds, he kind of just mailed it in, and collected a paycheck, as he really just got dominated and shut out in this fight. Broner's got a lot of legal issues still going on, domestic violence shit and everything. I just don't see this guy really bouncing back to amount to much. He's still a name. Guys are still going to want to fight him, but I haven't heard anything about a possible next fight. He made a lot of money with Pacquiao, so I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the rest of the year off. Next at number 12 is the undefeated former lightweight champion of the world, Omar Figueroa Jr., who came back in February after a 1.5-year layoff, and it was 2 years prior to that. And he took on tough contender John Molina Jr. It was a good, hard-fought battle. It seemed like Figueroa outlanded John Molina, but Molina was landing the better shots. So it really could have went either way, but the judges came back with a 10-round unanimous decision for Figueroa. Not too much controversy there, so I'm not going to argue it. I think the guy needs about one more tune-up bout before he could take on a top 10 guy and really be believable, but we'll see what happens. I just hope he stays active, because he's taken, the last few years, he's taken so much time off in between fights. I know he was injured. He's always had hand issues, but we got to see. But he's entertaining as fuck. I really like Figueroa. He's still undefeated, so we'll see what he does next. Next at number 11, dropping one spot from number 10, is contender Adrian Granados. His highest ranking is currently number 12 by the WBC. He's taking on Danny Garcia this month, April 20th, in the main event of a Fox card. Big fight and big opportunity for Granados right here. He could really, if he were to pull off the upset, which I think he's got a chance, that would be huge for him. It would really throw his name into the mix and lead to bigger fights. I do think he's going to put up a good fight either way. I'll give you my prediction on the fight when we get to Danny Garcia on this list. But big fight for Granados, April 20th versus Danny Garcia on Fox. Next at number 10, breaking into the top 15 after not even being ranked, is former 140-pound champion Sergey Lipinets. As I said a little while ago, he took on Lamont Peterson in Peterson's hometown of Washington, D.C. They fought earlier this month. At the end of March. And just what a performance for Lipinets. I called Peterson to win a close decision, but I did say it could go either way. But I saw after the first couple rounds, Peterson was outlanding Lipinets, not by much. He was outlanding him and boxing a little bit better, but Lipinets just kept landing thudding shots. I knew he was going to wear down Peterson after the first couple rounds, and he did just that, wore him down completely, hurt him late, and then finished him off in the 10th round. Peterson retired from that, but Lipinets, definitely the biggest win of his career. He's definitely thrown himself into the mix now, and I wouldn't be surprised if he got into a final eliminator against somebody good next, so we'll see what happens, but he should get an opportunity at something bigger, like I said, some kind of an eliminator next. I wouldn't be surprised if that means Danny Garcia, or the winner of Garcia Granados, so we'll see. Next at number 9 is former 2-division champion Jesse Vargas. Well, Vargas announced that he's going to be moving up to 154. His next fight is taking place at a catch weight of 150 pounds. It's at the end of this month, April 26th, on that big DAZN card. Friday, April 26th, on a big DAZN card. He's taking on former multi-division champion Humberto Soto, who got the big decision win over Brandon Rios. Vargas, he needs to not overlook a guy like Soto, but I think he's going to win this fight. I wouldn't be surprised if he stopped Soto in the late rounds or got a decision. He really needs to bounce back off of 2 draws last year. Because the draw with Broner, a lot of people argue that he should have won, but the draw with Delorme shouldn't have happened. I think a lot of people think he was overlooking Delorme, and he really needs to show something in this next fight against Soto. I think, like I said, he's gonna win this fight convincingly, but he really needs to try to dominate the action. So we'll see. That's Jesse Vargas, and that's April 26th on DAZN is his next fight. Next at number 8, dropping one spot from number 7, is former WBO champion Jeff Horn. Now, Horn, we don't know where he's fighting next. If it's going to be middleweight, 154, I think a lot of people are saying leaning towards that way. But until he announces it and fights there, I'm not going to rank him in any of those divisions. I did hear the possibilities of him fighting at 154 against Kell Brook, guys like that, all rumors. And then I heard possibilities of him against Ryota Murata, but he had to axe the new date that he originally agreed to a June date with Murata, but then Murata's people moved the date to July, and he had to say no because he has a son being born. So, a baby being born with his wife, and he wants to be there with the baby. So I really have to respect that, and I hope, he gets an opportunity to fight somebody. There was also talks about challenging WBA regular champion Rob Brandt, but nothing's come from that. So we'll see. Maybe he'll just stay busy before his kid is born. It looks like late June is when that's supposed to happen. And like I said, I think it's going to be at 154 or 160, but he has always said if he got a good opportunity at 147 that he would shed the weight and stay at 147, so we'll see. Next at number 7, dropping one spot from number 6, is former world title challenger Yordenis Ugas. He got his first world title crack on March 9th when he challenged Sean Porter for the WBC title. He did very well in that fight. His awkward style really threw Porter off, but Porter landed a lot of shots too. It was a good, close battle. It went to a decision where he lost a split decision in a controversial fashion. So he is protesting the decision. I wouldn't be surprised if he gets lined up to face Porter or the WBC champion after whatever the WBC champion does next. Kind of what they did with Avni Yildirim after the Anthony Durrell fight. So you just got to wait and see. But Ugas really threw his name in the mix and showed everybody that he belongs in the at the top of the welterweight division. So we'll see what happens next. Next we have a two-way tie for 5th. First of those is WBA regular champion Manny Pacquiao. January 19th, he defended his title against Adrian Broner. Dominated Broner with ease. Scored a one-sided shutout unanimous decision, retaining his world title. They're saying he's coming back at late June, early July. And the rumors that I'm hearing is it's likely going to be Keith Thurman in that fight, which would be to determine one true WBA champion at 147. I hope that's the fight. I hope that's the case. It will get announced by, if it does, whoever his opponent is. They said he has to fight them because the Senate is not in session in the Philippines at that time. That's why he's been fighting there the last few years in June or July. So we'll see. But that's Pacquiao. Hopefully we hear something soon. Tied with him for 5th, dropping one spot from 4th, is former 2-division champion Danny Garcia. Danny's returning this month against Adrian Granados. Should be a really good fight. It's a main eventing on April 20th on Fox. My prediction, I think Danny's going to win a hard-fought decision here. It's going to be convincing, though, and he will retain, and he will push forward to something bigger after this, but it really could go. I do think Granados has a chance. I just think Danny's more skilled, and he'll win this fight. Next at number 4, dropping one spot from number 3, is a WBC champion, Sean Porter. Porter fought March 9th against Yordenis Ugas. Really had a tough time against Ugas, but he fought extremely well, and kept pushing hard. Pulled out a hard-fought 12-round split decision, controversial split decision, but he held on to his world title. What do I think he's doing next? I think it's going to be Errol Spence in a unification bout, especially if Pacquiao chooses Keith Thurman. I think Spence and Porter are going to fall into place and face each other this summer. So hopefully we hear something by mid-year. Next at number 3 is the undefeated WBA super champion, Keith one-time Thurman. He wasn't ranked coming into the year because of his inactivity, not fighting in 2018. He returned in January, took on Josecito Lopez. Looked good early, looked like he was going to finish him, and Lopez turned it on, really pushed him, almost stopped Thurman in the 7th round, really had him hurt. Thurman had to hold on, and continue to box well the remainder of the fight. He ended up getting out with a majority decision after 12, but I think a lot of that had to do with inactivity and overlooking Lopez. They're talking that Thurman's next for Pacquiao, so we'll see. I hope that's the case. I think that'd be a really good fight and a decent challenge for Thurman. We'll know by the mid-year, but it's not going to I don't believe it's going to happen before the mid-year. I think it's happening in July, to be honest. So I'm not going to give a prediction on that fight because I do not think it's going to happen before the end of June, and that's when I'm doing my mid-year top 10s. Next at number 2 is Errol Spence Jr., the undefeated IBF champ. He stays number 2. He came back March 16th, took on undefeated lightweight champ Mikey Garcia, and destroyed Mikey Garcia over 12 rounds. Completely dominated him with ease. Shutout unanimous decision. I think the only thing people were surprised about is that he didn't knock him out. Mikey's tough, but I think Errol Spence just was playing with him and dominated him and wanted to prove that he could just kick the shit out of him over 12 rounds. It had nothing to do with the size, had to do with the skill. I called it. I told everybody he was going to dominate this fight. He did, and a big-time win for Spence. What do I think next? I think he's fighting Sean Porter in a unification bout. Pacquiao ruled out Spence almost immediately for his next option, and I think that means him and Porter are going to attempt to unify belts during the summer. I hope that's what happens. Errol Spence, great job. And now, finally, still number 1 is the undefeated WBO champion, Terrence Bud Crawford. He announced he's returning April 20th in the main event of an ESPN pay-per-view, and he takes on former 140-pound champion Amir King Khan. Big-time fight right here for for Crawford. I think he's going to dominate this fight. I do think Khan stands a puncher's chance because he's quick and has good, is a good boxer. But I think he's past it now. I don't think Khan has what it takes. In his previous couple fights, he just didn't look like the same old Amir Khan. He's older. I think Crawford's going to destroy him. I'm calling a middle round TKO. It could end earlier. I say around the 6th, 7th round. It could go a little bit later, but I think eventually Crawford's going to take over and win this fight with ease. So we'll see what he decides to do after that. All right, guys, that's it. #1 division of boxing, welterweights. True boxing. Been hit with the truth.